Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the LaTeX. So it's kind of a way to write math equations in internet-based stuff, right? So HTML kind of stuff. So I'm going to do this through an example. Let's do a law sines. So let's get a triangle going on. I'm going to put the first vertex right at the right on the origin. So I need the x, y right there. And you can see it's black, so it means it won't move anywhere. And now I just need 3 more points, or 2 more points, right? So now I have my nice polygon. Go to the move. I'm going to move this down. I don't need the axes at all, so I'm going to actually turn these off. All right, so now let's say that I want to actually do the law sines. And I want to show it as, and I'm just going to move these out so I can see what's going on. And while we're here, we might as well, let's get the values of the C, the A, and the B, so the side lengths. So let's right click, get the properties. And then in A, I actually want the name and the value. And then B, I want the name and the value. C, I want the name and the value. Hey, I don't have angles, these are just points, but I can get angles. Well, let's do that too. So let's move these so we can see them. That looks fine. And let's get A, B, and C for angles. So let's get the angle. So C, A, B, and then A, B, C, and then B, C, A. You notice I did it this way so that I can get alpha, beta, actually gamma, right? So there's no C, right, for the actual angle names. So they kind of fit with the points. And now let's do, I just want the angles, I don't want their names. So let's do the same thing. Let's go to the properties. Now in A, I'll go to the basics, and I just want the value, not the name. And then B, and then B, I just want the value, not the name. And then gamma, the value, not the name. And I can move these so they look nicer. Right, get my move tool. And whatever I just did, so get the move tool, put those in, and then I'm good. All right, so now I have my angles and my sides. So now what I want to do is I want to show the actual values, I want to show the equation, all that stuff. And I do that with a text box. Or a text box all about output. All right, so I'll put it up here. And now what I want to do is I want to show the actual equation. I want A divided by sine of A. Right? And I want to do it in math terms, so I'll do the LaTeX. Actually, and I can make this bigger, and I'm going to do that. Okay, and if I wanted to, I can grab this little dot and make the preview or the edit part bigger as well. All right, so in here, I'm going to actually write the formulas. This is an important thing to make a note of. This is the visual part of the math. This isn't actually calculating anything. When I want to calculate stuff, I don't need to do what I'm going to do right now. This is just so it looks pretty. All right, so I want a fraction. And now here's the HTML part. Right? This is the code for, hey, do a fraction and then do A divided by B. And you can see it's A divided by B. So whatever I want up top is what I'll put in this particular bracket. Okay, and it just turns out that I actually do want A. So that's just a coincidence. In this one, though, I want sine of A. All right, so now you can see A sine of A. And I'm going to put a space between the A and the sine. And to do this in LaTeX, I do backslash and then a semicolon. Right, and you can see that's a space. Now I want this to equal, I want the same thing, I still want a fraction. Okay, but this time I actually want the A value, which is the side length value. And I can't type it in because that means it would be text. So here's where I'll insert an object, and I'll type A, and so now GeoGebra knows it's not text, it's actually this value 4.12. Right? I'll do the same thing here, so I need sine, but I don't want, oh, let's get our space, so backslash, semicolon. I don't want text, I want an actual value, I want the beta, so then I'll go to symbols, or I'm sorry, the alpha, and then alpha. So you can see here I have the A divided by alpha, or sine of alpha, A divided by sine of alpha. All right, and now I'll do equals. Now I actually want what 4.2 divided by sine of 40.27 degrees is. And I don't have to do this fraction stuff, I actually want the number. Okay, that's what I was talking about. I don't have to make it look pretty. Here I just do, I insert an object, and I'll do A divided by sine alpha. Right, and now that will give me the actual, the number, right, the value. Okay, so things I want to look pretty, I have to use the LaTeX formulas. Things that I don't, and the space was here. We could have done it with the space. It's a shortcut. In fact, if I put it in, you can see I get the same backslash and then semicolon. I just typed it in instead of going to the formula. But you can see the LaTeX does the nice stuff, but when I calculate things, I just calculate it with an object box. All right, so then I hit OK. And then here is my equation. And you can see as I move things around, oop, I'm still not on the pointer, right? So I go to the pointer, and now as I move things around, it actually gives me those values. It's dynamic now. All right. Okay, I can do the exact same thing for B. Let's do another text box. And unfortunately, you can't cut and paste them. I've tried it, it just doesn't work. So I want LaTeX, so let's do the fraction. This time I want B divided by sign. Let's put in our space for B. All right, and now again, that was a coincidence. It was just A and A. This one is B. So then I hit equals, and now I want the fraction again. This time I want the value, so I'll put in an object, and I'll put in B. And then I want sign, I'll put in my space, get the object, and then I'll do beta. Right. And then that'll give me the actual value. Then equals, now I want to do a calculation, so no LaTeX. It's just going to be B divided by sign, beta. And I actually could do the shortcut. It puts the shortcuts up here once I start plugging stuff in. And there you go. So now I have B. Right? And you can see as I move things around, those two better stay the same. Again, not on the pointer. It never gets old. All right, so then you can see it's all the same. Okay, so that's how I can do LaTeX. I'm going to show you one more thing, but that's the gist of LaTeX. So if I actually go to the properties, that's the way we'd fill all of this out. Right? Any one of these, you can see it has an X, it has an A. The A is where I'm going to put my values, all that stuff. Okay, so it's the same concept, it's just in different places. All right, so let's say if I do enter, let's do an integral. All right, so here's my integral. Then you can see integral, here's A where the upper bound would be, and here's B where the lower bound would be. Okay, so that would be my integral. Okay, so that's the kind of deal when I can input things. And then here I could do whatever my function is. And if I wanted to, put in my spaces. All right, so anytime you see A's and B's, you can input things. Actually, it just matches up with whatever the actual notation is. Right? And here's brackets, accents, all that stuff. So you can do all that stuff. All right, so let's delete this. All right, the next thing I want to show you, I did them actually one at a time. So you can see I have an A and a B, and these are separate text boxes. I could have put it all in one text box, though. So let's do that. So let's go to Properties. Let's go to Text. I want to make this bigger because I'm going to start doing a couple lines. So I want more space here. So now what I do is I hit Enter, and you'll notice, actually, shoot, that didn't make it bigger. So I want to see what's below here. Okay, so you'll notice if I do the exact same thing, let's do my fraction, it's actually putting it right next to it. I don't want that. I want a line, right? I want a line break or return. So to put a return in, what I do is I hit Enter, and you'll notice it doesn't do anything in the preview. So in LaTeX, it's got to be 2 backslashes. And then you can see I have another line. Right? And then I can just go through and type all my stuff. So B, and then let's do sign of B. Let's put a space. Right? Equals, I need another fraction. And these you actually could if you wanted to. You could cut and paste these. You just can't cut and paste the object boxes. So I'll have to insert an object box. And that's, oops, that's right, I don't want beta, I want B. And then insert an object box. And then I get a beta. And then it equals, and now I just need one object box, which is B divided by sign beta. And there we go. Okay, and you can see my preview, I actually have 2 now in one text box. And that's what this is. All right, so see, here's one text box, and I had them separate before, but now I have 2. And there you go. And then it's dynamic still. So it's all on your preference. Right? Just remember the take-home here. Well, I guess there's 2 take-homes, well, 3. If you're going to actually want to make it look pretty, where you're not trying to calculate anything, then use the LaTeX formulas. If you want to calculate something, you don't need any of that stuff. And then when you use the formulas, where your A's and B's are, those are kind of the inputs that match up to the notation. All right, and brackets where you can input other text. If you want to, now I guess a 4th tip here, if you want to make a line break, then you just do 2 backslashes.